This is Heart to Hearties. We are bringing you a mid-season check today with a couple of our burning questions. So we've seen 6 episodes right now, and we're ready for the last 6 episodes for season 12. So we're excited to kind of explore that. I'm Dawn Bateman from North Carolina.
And I'm Kim from Ontario, Canada.
And I'm Marg from San Diego, California.
And welcome back our co-creator and executive producer, Brian Bird.
Hi, guys.
Yay.
And I'm Brian from Illinois originally, but now Colorado with a 50-year stop in California.
That's a long stop. That's funny. So we're
nice to be with you guys. Thank you for inviting me.
So Brian, we're touching base on the heels of episode 6. But wow, I mean, what a way to build excitement introducing Melissa Gilbert to our cast.
Very exciting for all of us to finally see, Officer Georgie on screen and Inspector Georgie and have Melissa part of the show. It was so exciting. As you guys know, we got to introduce her in real life at our last Hearties reunion, which was a big win, a big surprise for all the people that got to be there. And the exciting part of it is that, and as you guys remember, and maybe some of the Hearties in your audience might know, the way that all happened is that Michael Landon went to the 50-year anniversary of the Little House on the Prairie fans, their fan movement, like the Hearties. They have a big fan movement that still continues 50 years later. And definitely. I pray that the Hearties will be around for 50 years from now. I might not be, but they will be. But it was such an amazing thing, and the way this transpired was Michael was signing autographs with the fans, and asking some of them, like, do you know our other show? Do you know When Calls the Heart? And he said about 1 in 5 of the Little House fans knew about When Calls the Heart. And he came away from their reunion, their fan reunion, saying, how can we make it 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Of those very robust fans. And so we started talking about it, and we said, well, what if we cross one of the actors from Little House onto When Calls the Heart? And that's how it all began. And it was so exciting for us that Melissa said yes. She loved her experience in Hope Valley. It was just so amazing to us. So anyway, we're thrilled. We're thrilled for the fans. We're thrilled for Melissa. We're thrilled for the Little House fans who might start watching the show now. It was just really, really cool. So she comes back in another episode. So everybody's got to keep watching.
All right.
So exciting.
Because the mystery has to be solved some way. The mystery of the double eagle coins. So
well, we have a Bill and Georgie mystery as well. So
yes, some backstory.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful chemistry between the two of them. It's really neat. Yeah.
Yes. No, it's fantastic, and we're thrilled. We were thrilled that worked out, and every in the network, Hallmark Channel loved it, and we'll see how the ratings come out, but it was really good, really good.
So exciting.
That's pretty amazing. Another question we have, this episode was directed by Martin Wood, who returned to our team after being away for several seasons. And it was the debut of a new writer, Joy Gregory. What would you like to say about those two artists?
Well, yes, Kim, thank you. Well, Martin goes back to the beginning of the show. He's been such a great asset in our directing pool, and the thing about these directors up in Vancouver area and really in Canada, uh, Martin goes back and forth between Ontario, making shows there and coming back to Vancouver. They're in great demand, in
Mm.
great demand. And so it's not always, it's whoever like asks first, right? Because these are working directors and they want to keep as busy as possible. And so uh, anyway, so thrilled to have him back, and he is so such a great guy to work with. He's so easy with the actors. He has got great chemistry with the actors. He loves shooting into mirrors, which not all directors like. So there's always a good signature mirror shot
I love
in
it.
Martin
That's
episodes.
funny.
Some directors have their own like their Hitchcock thing that they like to
Sure.
do it. So that's Martin's Hitchcock thing. But and then Joy is absolutely a delight, and I'm hoping that your Heart to Hearties audience is going to get to meet her before the season's out.
Oh,
We're,
nice.
we're
Oh,
working
that'd
on
be
that.
great. Yeah.
And
Exciting.
and Joy Gregory, what a delight she is. I've gotten to know her a little bit, and she's just a fabulous person. She joined the show in season 12, uh, writing episode 6, which you guys have just seen. It's just fantastic, delightful, funny. She's got a great sense of humor. Um, she worked on a bunch of really good shows that some Hearties may know. Madam Secretary was a big show on CBS. She also worked on Joan of Arcadia, which uh, I knew a lot of the people on that show. That show came on after my show, Touched by an Angel, left the air. It was sort of the next generation of sort of faith in storytelling on CBS.
Wow.
And so she worked on that show. She worked on Madam Secretary. She's been on a lot of really great shows. So I think Hearties are going to love her work. It just delighted me this episode. Her humor was just on display in such a good way. So yeah, keep your eyes open for Joy Gregory. You're going to want to know more about her.
Yeah, that's why we were eager to dig in, because it was quite a debut to have. I mean, I can't get enough of watching Bill Avery with the cough syrup delusions. So I'm all about bringing the cough syrup delusions to Hope Valley. But yeah, talk to us about the very spicy fever dreams.
Yes. Well, this is Joy's sort of sense of humor, right? And and we know Hearties love romance and romance novels. Probably many read romance novels, and so it was sort of a tip of the cap, tip of the Mountie hat to those kinds of things that you would see. And they're obviously very tame, very family friendly, not too spicy, but just enough to kind of get people excited. And the one that killed me, obviously, I mean, they're all great. I just laughed out loud when I first read them, and then when I saw them first, on when they were first filmed. I just laughed out loud. And then, to set up the two with Elizabeth, with her fever dreams, with her
Agree with
bad cold.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yeah, and then to tap the finish with Nathan,
Yeah.
with his, right? It just was fantastic, to let him now be coming down with the same thing Elizabeth had, and the dog licking his face. That was just
That was classic. That was classic. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. So just really delightful, kind of fun things. And, it's not something and, to end the episode on that too, which is, usually there's some
Wow.
sort of dramatic cliffhanger, but it was more like end on a joke,
Right.
And, we don't do that very often,
No, we don't. Yeah.
So
awesome.
it was a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to see what else, Joy has in store for us the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's been fun to see the show continue to experiment a little bit as, I think Hearties sometimes think, or maybe all fans think, that TV is a fixed medium. And, when you have a show that goes on this long, there's lots of, creativity. There's lots of little experiments.
Yes, yes. Well, cliffhangers are a, a convention of the streaming, years, the
Mhm.
streaming paradigm,
Yeah.
and trying to get people to binge. Well, it's the anticipation of having to wait a week kills the Hardys, right? When they go over to Netflix and they just get press watch next, watch next, watch next. And we all like that, but actually I think it's better for building a fan movement and a
Yes.
and a community around a show to not just give them heart attacks every week, you know. And
Yeah, thanks for
so
that. We appreciate it.
That's funny.
so mixing in some fun things
Yeah.
like that is nice from time
We
to
all
time.
enjoy the hunks of Hallmark, and
Yes.
and we certainly could all use a good belly laugh. So
Yeah. Well,
it's
I
been
was thinking
fun.
about even Little House on the Prairie because there was like in the sequence of shows, there would be a really serious, two-parter, and then the next two were just really uplifting and light, and so I think that's part of that
It
good,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, it
just
is.
balance
Yeah.
for a
I
watcher.
I watched Star Trek. I love Star Trek,
Yeah,
right?
me
So
too.
I've gone back and watched all the different permutations of Star Trek. They've had like 10 different shows.
Mhm.
And they do the same thing.
Yeah.
In the middle of like just, oh, somebody's gonna, get lost in space or, get sucked into a black hole, that they'll do something where they're in Shakespeare outfits doing some sort of strange
Yeah.
cosplay kind of
On
thing.
the
And
holodeck.
exactly. And it's just, and it's not really dramatic. It's just more sort of for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's good. It's good to mix it up for sure.
Yeah.
That's
That's good.
fun.
Anything else you want to tease at this midpoint? You say we're strong with the ratings and we're delivering, and
Yes. Yes.
anything you're excited about for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I'll just say one thing about the ratings. I think it's been sort of an eye opener uh, for me. All the ways in which people can now watch television and television shows and series. The same thing has happened with When Calls the Heart. So we're now on the next day on Hallmark Plus. We're on the next day on Peacock.
Mhm.
So I think there are lots of viewers actually watching for the first time the following day if they can't
Mhm.
see if they can't watch it on Hallmark. And so as we dig in a little bit on those numbers, more people are now watching than ever.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, when some Hardies, they watch everything, and so when they're watching the Nielsen ratings and going, oh, they're nervous Nellies. Oh, or we don't have the same Nielsen numbers that we had 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That's true. That's absolutely true. We might be off by 10% from last year on same day, live same day on
Right,
just the
right.
Nielsen's, people watching on the Hallmark Channel. Obviously, we want the biggest number possible there, but um, that's not the only thing that all the powers that be are interested in. They're interested in how many eyeballs overall are watching. And I certainly am. I want this content to go to everybody. That's my personal mission in life, not for success, but because I just believe in the content. I believe it's good for the soul, of the world. So the more people that watch, to me, the better we are doing. Uh, and so it's that part's exciting. And on Sunday night, episode that we just watched, right? The we were and I posted about this. we're the number 13 show in the top 20 shows on all of television. Considering cable, considering the big networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, they're included in that top 20. And we're now listed in the top 20. We're number 13. So we're doing, I've been on two other shows that were on for 9 seasons each. And now we're in our 12th season, and we're not decreasing, we're increasing. That is kind of unheard of.
Amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm so grateful. I try to reinforce this with the Hearties as much as I possibly can. The Hearties are the reason for that, not us.
Right.
Right. We have to, put a good show on the air, but if the Hearties didn't respond, there wouldn't be a show. So it's a really powerful, talking point for us that it's growing, not decreasing. So it's exciting. I think it's exciting for the Hearties to know that, to embrace that, to know that they're part of something that's bigger than themselves. It's bigger than us. This is bigger than anything we do. This whole community. So, and I'm so grateful to all of you, because you are the lifeblood of keeping this movement going. We're deeply grateful for all the hard work that you admins do on the pages, on all the social media pages, but especially with this podcast, which is growing, and you've got it on all the great platforms now. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's
everywhere.
It's everywhere. You can find this podcast everywhere you can get a podcast. That's amazing. That's amazing. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you. It's interesting, the landscape of what we are witnessing in this, year, the podcast world. And then, but we're kind of old school too. So, we have the series every week, and we can talk about one episode. So if you're binging anything, then you really don't have the collective kind of conversation that we really enjoy. But we're like an old school world at that kind of world too. So I think
it's the best ever. And it's authentic and heartfelt, and it's not, not some big, $1 million show that you guys are doing. You're doing it from your heart, which is authentic and real and more meaningful to me. So,
well, we enjoy it.
Love it.
We enjoy it, and we love our Hearties. So
awesome.
But thank you. So are you ready for some Heartieship?
Okay.
All right. So play. You've been a contestant for, how many times? 2 or 3 times at least.
Yeah.
So the rules, right? So you know the drill. It's going to be either hit, miss, or classified.
Yep.
And Marg always says no classifieds. But we'll accept it if you do that. But we're just saying.
I do my best to give you as many hits as I possibly can without getting fired. So
we even got a like sound effect kind of, and just Chris McNally, a boom. So there you go.
Nice.
So funny. So are you ready? Ready, Brian?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
And we're talking about anything for the second half of season 12.
Dr. Carter will submit research to a scientific journal on the hallucinogenic qualities of cough medicine.
Well, not that I know anything about hallucinogenics in my own life. I'm going to have to say miss, unfortunately, on that. It's not a huge miss, but it is a miss.
It's funny, like it almost sounded like Rosemary went to the kitchen for it, like put it in favorite for, was it Dr. Stewart's or something like that?
Stearns. Yeah, Dr.
It's
Stearns.
Dr. Stearns, yes. Yes.
So what does it mean? They just go and get the alcohol bottle from behind the bar and fill up the
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
bottle
sound like
up?
it's from the pharmacy at all. Yeah. Okay,
That's
guess
funny.
number 2. We will learn that Ava's white dress was really a wedding gown. Indeed, she's a runaway bride.
You guys will just do anything to get any reference to a wedding on the show. I know that.
Pretty much. Okay, busted.
He's
But-
got us.
Unfortunately, my lips are sealed on that one.
Classified.
Classified.
Ah.
Wow.
Jeez, oh, my word.
Okay. Okay, the next one. Ned catches the dreaded cold and has fever dreams about Florence flirting with him at the cash register. Can't even imagine.
It's not COVID running around like Hope Valley. That's going to continue all season. However, I will
That's
say,
funny.
I wish that I could say hit, because that's an awesome idea. Imagine
That's
the
funny.
flowing hair, or whatever on
Totally.
Florence. So I have to say miss, but
Darn.
Funny.
it's a great idea. Whoever came up with that, it's a
Funny.
great idea.
Okay, very next one. Angela will encounter Helen Keller in person on her visit to the Schwartzman School. Oh, wouldn't that be special?
Wow. It would have been so great for that to happen.
Would.
Oh.
But we do obviously we reference Helen Keller in the episodes. So that was powerful to me, to me, that we took in history like that, and opened up to inclusiveness there in that way. So
Beautiful.
keep your eyes open for those episodes as they're coming.
Okay. All right. So the guy in the Spurs on the McGinty land will be implicated in the mystery.
That is a hit.
Oh.
Those Spurs.
Interesting. Okay.
You
All
knew
right.
when they focused on those Spurs that something was coming.
Yeah, that was
All right.
that was like on the nose, like, why look at the Spurs?
Right.
Those
Well, it
are
was cool
nice
'cause
boots.
it was like their narrow view through the bushes or whatever.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Truly.
They weren't
That's
that great at concealing themselves, but
exactly.
Wow. All right. Our next one, our last one. Edwin drafts new legislation preventing children from ever appearing on radio shows.
It's a miss,
Oh.
but it's something Edwin should do and would have done. Like, it's a good idea. Again, a good idea. You guys should be in the writing room on these things. It's good.
Lucas must talk him out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Brian, for your time today. And also, can you tell us about the hashtag Hearties? Because we talked about ratings earlier. Can you talk about that and the Nielsen ratings and how that impacts that with the hashtag Hearties in X?
Yes, thank you for having me, and I can answer that. So Nielsen expanded a few seasons ago, actually, expanded their analysis and their analytics to include social media engagement.
Mm.
And so that is, so when an X post is post, or when on X, when we do a post, formerly a tweet, on show night, the hashtag Hearties is actually included in their analysis of how much engagement there is with the show. Not just the fact that people are watching, that is absolutely their main metric, but they measure that now, and they put a report out to the network about, and what When Calls a Heart has appeared in that report many times as either the top social media engagement show of that night, or very high on the list. So it adds incredible value to what the ratings mean, because it means that the audience is not just casually watching, they're actually participating in a physical way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a good thing when people remember, don't ever do on especially show night, don't ever do a tweet or a post without including at least that hashtag Hearties, because
Mm,
that gets measured.
that's
All
great.
the other hashtags are fine. Keen on
Sure.
13 is
Yeah.
awesome. We love that you're doing that,
Right. Right.
got started.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, thank
it
you for
just,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I hope that's helpful. And I look forward to, I hear I'm going to be on next week. So with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
Well,
look,
we
you're
are.
back. You're in the
look
Yes.
hot
forward to
seat
that.
again.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And Hearties, just
Tune
be,
in.
I was going to say, tune in. We're going to do more. And this is Heart to Hearties.